So, good morning, friends. Thing is, uh, a lot of we people, we wanted to be turning up as a good professional with computers. And unfortunately, we don't turn up because of lack of correct understanding or you say misunderstanding of the content. Let me be clear with this some kind of analysis what we are and what we are supposed to be. What we are now, what we are supposed to be sound with the computer. Before getting into this, let us come up with a simple terminology, what we generally refer to as technology. Uh, the technology is actually the term that has its meaning, the logic implemented for a specific task. But nowadays we misuse the term technology for advancement of whatever the concept exists. Literally, we will say technology is uh, a logic that is applied by a person that we could not understand. Basically, now we come to a sense that the term technology is something, okay, something it is happening, but we don't understand. This is what a wrong conclusion that we come to, because of which we are not in a position of understanding things properly. Now, there are different levels of people. Say, for example, if you come across a bicycle, there are two kinds of people who use a bicycle. Say, basically, for example, a bicycle used for traveling from place A to place B. The moment you started learning bicycle at your childhood, you have been taught, you have a handle and you have a seat on which you will be sitting. You have a brake. You have wheels. That's it. And the maximum you will be taught with is you have a pedal. And no one talks about even chain unless it drops down. So this much knowledge has been given to a person who wanted to use the bicycle to move from place A to place B. But the same cycle is used by a person who repairs a bicycle. Now, see, the person who wanted to learn how to repair a bicycle, if he has knowledge that, yeah, I know bicycle has two wheels, it has a handle, it has brake, it has seat, is not good enough for that particular person to repair a bicycle. For making uh, correctness of functionality of a bicycle, if it is malfunctioning, then the person is supposed to understand each and every part very properly uh, in the bicycle, like chain, how much tight it is supposed to be, how much loose it is supposed to be, how about the handle, how straight it is supposed to be, how bent it is, if it is bent, how it is supposed to be made straight, how much air is supposed to be filled in the what do you call tubes of the bicycle, and what about these spokes, why these spokes support pedal, whether it is along with this seat head, etc., pedal movements. The one who repairs a bicycle must also have knowledge that there is something called a ball bearing in the front wheel. How many balls are supposed to be there? Whether the balls they are say uh, correct in size, whether the grease applied is correct or it is flucking up. All this knowledge is very much important for a person who repairs a bicycle. But for a person who just want to ride a bicycle, he never has a requirement of knowing all this nonsense. Whether uh, all you people know about bicycle riding, how many of you people know that how many balls are there in the ball bearing of a front wheel of a bicycle? That is rubbish for us. The same kind of concept, if you come across, say, Let me be a bit clear with this. First of all, thing is, we all know we have been taught with computer. See, this much part is generally taught to all people about computer. The moment you get into computer, you will be taught with something called there is CPU, there is input device, there is output device. The hell with this diagram. I don't know how far people feel comfort with this. Okay, people see CPU, they see input device, whether they have a mouse, a keyboard, something like that, have a monitor, the basic output device, and people forget about speaker is an output device, and it is given in the list of notes of every undergraduate or graduate or whomever attends any course in any of the institutes. There are it is a list of output devices, printer, print types of the hell. I don't know why people need to learn about all those things. The person who is supposed to work out with a printer, if he uh, as a printer, he can work out with a printer. But I don't know dot matrix printer, laser jet printer, inkjet printer, desk jet printer, types of classification of printer. Oh God, much of the knowledge is acquired by the person. He knows everything. It is something like it is literally something like writing sugar on paper and licking it for the taste. Because no one is going to use all types of printers at a time. I don't know, unnecessary burden over head. Right, okay. Anyhow, getting onto this CPU, uh, people say it has three important components, control unit, and I know the hell nobody has seen control unit. No user has seen control unit because all users are taught with it. And there's a memory unit. Okay, memory unit. Memory is classified into primary memory, secondary memory. Some books are written primary memory and auxiliary memory. People never say auxiliary memory. It itself it is secondary memory. Is the biggest problem. And they come up with a list out of floppy disk, the compact. Those things are vanished. They are not in the market, and but still they are in the textbook. We need to write and we need to follow for examination purpose. Okay, anyhow, and it is my personal opinion on this particular aspect that I don't know many of the locations it is written that it is arithmetic and logical unit that performs arithmetic and logical operations. The hell I personally feel it is arithmetic logical unit. It is not arithmetic logical unit. Be clear with the gap. It is a logical unit that does all logical operations. Okay, all logical operations with the help of basic arithmetic. Basic arithmetics again, the basic arithmetic it does is uh, addition of pulses, binary. Okay, we'll discuss about the binary system later. Now, the very basic core thing here is people are taught with this. They are never at least taught with this particular concept because this is every institution, whatever educational organization, they say all this is for hardware people, but the one who uses, he must know what are these at least, what are existing in the CPU box. But this control unit is never shown in this. This arithmetic logical unit is never shown in this because it is not directly in this. It is integrated into something else. Now, getting onto this memory unit, even moreover, no one is going to show this particular CPU opened and shown with all these components. This is what called a bus, this is what called a motherboard, this is called a CPU fan. You have a microprocessor underneath this. When this microprocessor is integrated with arithmetic logical unit. This exam point of view, we write this, but practically we use, but we don't know which part is available where in this particular CPU is what the biggest problem with all people who are getting into their either graduation or doing any special courses in computers. So some people just they directly work with this without knowing names. They are million times better. They can do something at least with this. Yeah, this memory unit again. They show you this is what RAM. But your primary memory includes RAM and ROM, but nobody shows ROM because no one knows what is the purpose of ROM. Right? Okay, these are all the problems what generally people face, and I would like to come up with some content like this. Some content like this. Just have a look. This is what the CPU box in which, of course, users they need to users at least users. The people who wanted to just pass exam, you just work with this concept. Is good enough. You just pass the exam, leave the computer beside. The people, at least to become a user, generally, say non-technical people, non-technical graduates, or the people who work at offices learning things on the road, they must know at least something like this. But for one, something to be a bit professional should understand things in this particular way. Say your CPU is connected with a VLSI circuit called microprocessor. This is something important. Microprocessor. The name itself it says it is processor that does process in the system. Of course, micro is what something it is small, nothing more than that. Don't go beyond the definition of the term micro here. And this is what your main memory of the system, say random access memory. And this is your, say literally hard disk. Hard disk is what an auxiliary memory used for storing content for future utilization. Say, literally, I come up with a technical concept. Say, the hard disk, it is used to store data and the information or the processes that are supposed to be done for future utilization. And from this hard disk or say auxiliary memory, whatever it is, other than hard disk, you have pen drives, you have memory cards, all these are auxiliary memory or you say secondary memory. From this, data instructions are copied into main memory. Main memory, this is the workspace of you. And from main memory, the data is copied into some part called the CPU registers within your microprocessor. And the instructions are given into something called arithmetic logical unit that actually performs process in the system. The IILU performs process on the data that is available in auxiliary memory. Sorry, that is available in CPU register. The results are stored back into main memory. They are further expressed onto output. If user feels of using that particular data information, whatever it is, the process the result to use in future, he may store it onto auxiliary. This is how your computer works. It is very easy of understanding, but it is very difficult of remembering because we may mug up RAM, random access memory, but we don't feel it is main memory. It is the workspace. We may feel that microprocessor does the process. Who does the process in microprocessor? It is again effect of this thing on a burden on the mind. You will never be in a position of understanding things. You will never be in a position of feeling comfort with what you know. And you see, there is nothing called technology as such. It is a common sense applied by a particular person, a particular person, and we could not understand that common sense. So we call it technology. Let us get on to something which is literally mind blowing to understand the concept as it is. See, uh, we have a monitor, we have a keyboard like thing it is connected here, and this is something important. I said is your CPU, and your CPU has a microprocessor, and this is main memory, and this is your auxiliary memory, this is your output device, and this is your input device. So whatever input you give, it enters into main memory. From main memory, say for example, you said 2 plus 3. This 2, 3 are copied into your CPU registers and plus is given to arithmetic logical unit where this arithmetic logical unit does the process of plus and 2 and 3. The results are stored back into main memory itself. They are further expressed onto output device. User says, wow, my computer is working properly. But if user feels of using this 5 in future, he may store it onto auxiliary memory. This is what repeatedly I am telling. This is what happens in the computer. But thing is, uh, we are unaware that what exactly is going on within this CPU. You better get onto the user, ask the user where the process is going on. He says it is within CPU. It is the correct answer for him. You opened MS Paint, drawn something, you say, where is it? You say, it is in CPU. Where the data is stored. It is in CPU. It is a common thing for a user. That much knowledge is good enough for a user, like a person who rides a bicycle knows he has a handle, he need to pedal, and he just need to make a balance and move ahead. That's it. But to become a technical person, you should understand this particular ALU in this particular. And I would like to come up with a small exemplary thing uh, with which we can understand things very easily. Say here, here goes my concept is, we have a different approach. Here, let us have some questions and answers on this. So this is a kitchen. Basically, what is the purpose of kitchen? Is say cooking. Okay, what is basically cooking? Cooking is the concept of converting raw vegetables into eatable format. That is nice. So, how to convert these raw vegetables into eatable format? Yeah, we can bifurcate this cooking is classified in basically two ways, either frying or boiling. Say, uh, what is the difference? Difference is for boiling we pour some water, for frying we put some oil. Now the question is, the moment you put water, will that be boiled? You say, no, no, we are supposed to heat it basically. So if you want to heat it basically, uh, is mom picking up potato rubbing to produce heat? I say, no, we actually have something called a stove. So in the kitchen, we basically say a statement, yeah, my mom is cooking. The mom is not cooking. Cooking is the process. Cooking is the process of heating, where that particular concept of heating is done by a component called stove, and mom controls it. Mom never cooks. Mom or we have a chef at home. Okay, my sister cooks. Okay, whomever it is, they just control the actual process of cooking is done by the stove. And I hope you can access this. And we have some a location called a fridge used to store vegetables for future utilization. And this complete sentence, it gives you knowledge. If you simply say a fridge is used to store, full stop. It is a blunt statement. We will never feel comfort of further concepts unless we speak out fully. We should not become a half knowledge fellow. Let us understand this properly. Say fridge is used to store vegetables for future. And see, if you keep vegetables in the fridge and switch on this stove will never cook the vegetables that are in the fridge. This is what that happens in the home. Very basically, everybody knows this. If you want vegetables to be cooked, then the vegetables are supposed to be put into uh, this vessel, a cooker-like thing, or any other vessel that is placed on the stove. Say a vessel that stores the vegetables during process. This is something important. Vessel is used for storing. Let us not stop there. It is used for storing during process. Now, the connectivity between this stove and the vessel is that this stove always cooks the vegetables that are available in this particular cooker. And see, this coordination between them is established by your mom. And now, the question is, are the vegetables brought from fridge and directly put into the stove? Is no, because the vegetables are not directly put as it is in the particular vessel that is kept on the stove. The mum actually she gets all vegetables onto this particular slab, right? She washes, she cuts all those vegetables into pieces, kept in it. See, even this slab, uh, it stores it stores, say, vegetables can be stored in fridge, can be stored on slab, can be stored on that particular vessel. The difference is this vessel we store during process, this fridge we store uh, for future utilization. Even this slab stored that particular vegetable. The vegetables are kept on slab till the time the previous cooking things are complete. Once the previous cooking things are completed, then these vegetables are put into that particular vessel on the stove. And this stove, be clear with this particular aspect, the vegetables can be either in the fridge or on the slab or in the stove or on the vessel. The stove cooks vegetables that are only in the stove. The stove will never cook vegetables that are on the slab that are in the. These are interconnected. Yeah. So once the cooking is completed, the content is stored back onto this particular slab. Now we can define this slab stores the vegetables either before process or after process, and uh, whatever washing, cutting, etc., is done on this particular slab. So this is the working area in the kitchen. Now, assume you have no proper, say, no, you don't have vegetables that are required for cooking now. Then generally, dad gets things from outside, and whatever has been brought are not directly put into fridge, nor directly used. They are put onto this particular slab. Mom washes them, cuts them, whatever is required now, cuts them, put it into this vessel, and whatever are not required, they'll send them to fridge. And once this cooking is completed, the vessel is not kept here. The mom stores it onto this particular slab. From there, it is served to people. This is what happens in our everyday life. The moment you try understanding this as it is, the entire thing is organized by mom. Say mom controls, coordinates, organizes this entire process. The same way a system works. Say mission systems through everyday context. Missions, like humans, works in a structured stages because they are made by humans. A basic statement, a computer is not something that fell down from some other planet, right? We human beings, we made them. Say, every system, it takes input, do process, store things, control, outputs, everything very structured like our life. To make this intuitive, let's compare kitchen setup with computer. We have a stove. Stove is the one that actually processes in the kitchen. The same way, in your system, we have something called ALU within the processor. We have something called arithmetic logical unit within the processor that performs process. I don't know, cooker. There is something called registers within uh, our microprocessor. The moment if you identify, if you get onto this particular, uh, where should I show you something like this? See this? I said this is your microprocessor, and your microprocessor has two parts. One is CPU registers, second one is ALU. I hope you people know Mixie. Mixie at a home for making up juice. It has some switches here, and we have a jar. And see, the moment it is kept on the table, of course. Uh, if you have an apple and you cut apple into pieces and start this mixie will never make the juice of apple pieces that are kept on the table. Say, to convert these apple pieces to be into juice, you need to put that apple pieces into this mixie jar. The moment you get onto this mixie has two parts. One is the actual mixing machine, second one is mixing jar. Mixie is the one that actually performs process, and mixing jar stores apple pieces during process. The same way your microprocessor has two aspects. One is arithmetic logical unit, that is something like your mixie, and there is something called registers, CPU registers we call them. Or technical people they call it general purpose registers. Forget about the name. Just remember it is something like a mixie jar that is used to store data during class. Now, I hope you can understand this clearly now. Say your cooker is something like a CPU register that stores the content during process. The only term changed from kitchen to computer is in kitchen we said it is vegetables, in computers it is data. That's it. And you have a fridge is a long time storage, example, hard disk, pen drive, etc., etc. And this is something important. The slab that we have seen, what a centralized location in the kitchen is what the working space in case of our computers, we call it as main memory. Remember this term, main memory, because the same main memory is called RAM by users, random access memory. But for becoming a professional, you should understand it. The RAM is the main memory of the system, and it is the workspace where you work. And your mom-like thing in the kitchen is operating system in your uh, computer. The moment you say the Linux or Unix or whatever you have, Windows, it controls, coordinates, organizes, decides, schedules, everything within the computer. And say dad is something like an input device uh, who gets things from outside, like your keyboard. Now, simple thing is, the moment dad brought something from outside, mom keeps them on the slab. Whatever required now, they wash, cut, and put into the cooker. Whatever is not required now, she will send it to uh, fridge. Like that. Even in computer, the moment you give input from keyboard, it is sent into the main memory, or you say the RAM, and whatever is required to undergo process now are sent into microprocessor. Microprocessor is like a mystery jar that includes these two things. And if user feels of keeping data for future utilization, it can be sent onto hard. Another daughter-like thing, what has been shown in previous image, is an output device, end user who uh, sees the results. So the conclusion, just like every person or item in the kitchen plays a defined role to complete a task, like the stove does process, cooker stores during process, fridge stores for future utilization, slab is the workspace, mom controls, dad inputs, daughter outputs. A computer system to have is made up of well-defined components that work in harmony with each other. We, instead of misunderstanding the functionality of or this is important, not understanding computer's functionality makes us to work wrongly with that, because of which we whomever wanted to become a professional of any case, either programming or say quantum computing or uh, or whatever artificial intelligence, or machine learning, etc., whatever the kind of technology it is, you feel very uncomfort with computer because you don't know what is there. It is something like the moment you went on a picnic, you picked up a room, uh, Agoda, using some app. You entered into that room and you don't know where is restroom, where is hall, where is balcony in the room. The want to get into washroom, you unfortunately got into balcony. Like this kind of mess up will go on if you don't understand things proper. Now, this is what I said, a practical approach. Your operating system controls, coordinates everything. Is your mom like thing in the computer? Your stove is what ALU, arithmetic logical unit, that actually performs processing the system. And the cooker is something like CPU registers that stores data during process. And the slab is what main memory. It is called main memory by programmers and RAM by users. Both are same. There is I want to see main memory. This is RAM. Don't get into that kind of confusion. It is what the same thing. Is what the actual working area in the computer. And here, this particular fridge part is used to store for future. This is a practical approach towards understanding system to become a good professional with system. Unless we understand like this, we feel very uncomfortable because we don't know all our technical names and everything becomes a technology. And be clear, no one could make something what he does at me, including Charles Babbage, who laid down rules for how a computer is supposed to work with, and say yeah, there are different people, they run behind the name, right? He is father of computers. There is another fellow called father of computer science. There is another fellow called mother of computers. There is another fellow called father of electronics. There is a father for physics. All this history really will make you remember their names than uh, how you were supposed to work, how happily you work with it. Now, anyhow, uh, hope these things are clearly understood, how you were supposed to understand a computer system. And now, we'll meet in next video. Till then, have a good day.